PVC. You know the dapper, better get your PVC. You know the dapper, better get your PVC. You know the dapper, better get your PVC.
Make it no be like I no tell you. Make it no be like saying that but they wear you. Everybody, mama and papa, maybe we can clear you. So you know go be like saying we no help you. Get your PP, get your PVC, get your PP, get your PVC.
You know the dapper, better get your PVC. You know the dapper, better get your PVC. You know the dapper, better get your PVC. You know the dapper, get your PVC.
Hausa, Igbo, and Yoruba.
Nigeria country, Nigeria country, Nigeria country, Nigeria country.
Yes, everybody go for your PVC. I beg. Because they know the japa. For your PVC.
Okay, good evening and welcome back to Common Sense for Relationships.
Common Sense for Relationships.
Yes, and I guess we can say good morning some people and good afternoon.
Some people. Yes, all our Canada people. Yes. So wherever you're watching us from, just say hello and tell us your location. We can see you. We're on set, and today we have a guest, but we're not disclosing her yet. Yes. What do you say?
Yes, we're excited. That's why we're already talking about the guest. Okay, so you see, Debbie, we can see you. Welcome. Thanks for joining. And
yes, as usual,
yes.
As usual.
So,
and you know, if you're wherever you're joining us from, please type your location so that we can also say hello. If possible, I can even try to say hello in your language. I can try. Myself. Yes. These days I've been watching one Korean movie. So Yoshinai, Yokangai.
Let's just hope you're not abusing somebody.
It's okay. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
So please share, subscribe. I mean, while this is going on, you get something really cool. Please go ahead and and please share. Send to Facebook and other platforms so that more people can be part of this conversation. You know that this is our month of breaking
the table.
Are we shaking or
no,
breaking?
we will shake. If it breaks, I'm not the one that is at fault. So we'll just shake. If something breaks, it's probably one of you guys that did it. It wasn't me. I won't take this thing credit for it.
So we're going to have fun on the show today. So please stay tuned and get ready to share freely, openly. Bring the real issues. Hey, Gabriel, I see you. Hi from Eket. Thanks for joining.
And if they will notice, we are trying some new things. So if you notice anything that is not the usual way our show used to be, just know that we are trying something new. Do you understand?
So hello to our friends on Instagram. Also.
On Facebook, we can see you right there. On YouTube, we can see you. Hello. So
today, our topic is good girl, no they pay. And, yes, that topic is a very tough
it's a good girl, no they pay.
That topic is a very tough one.
And even the good girl is also good boys, no they pay. We spoke last week about this. We talked a little bit about guys last week. When we said why are guys not getting married. Do you understand? So we now start talking about guys. So this week we decided to bring a lady on the show, to tell us why good girls know they pay. Is it a myth? Is it a mystery?
And we are going to get to the bottom of it, because I mean some people will jump by the first. What do you mean by that? Because in fact me, like, what do you mean by good girl no they pay? So, but then it's all about context.
Yeah, it's all about
because
context.
You have to understand that different people see things differently. What one person means is different from what another person means. But on the whole, let's get to the bottom of this statement that's often made. Why do people say good girl no they pay? And what can good girls do to make sure they get a quote
paid? That's a good one. That's a good one. And so to
It's
it's a good time to introduce
our guest.
our guest.
Yep, we're introducing our guest for today, and her name is Omowale.
Omowale, maybe you would introduce yourself.
Oh,
You have a very compound name.
Agbeja.
You have a compound name. So,
Omowale
and I like the way she introduces herself. The way she says it.
Very quickly.
Please, share. Do share.
Hello, everybody. I'm Omowale Agbeja. Yes, and it's lovely to be here.
Yes, so Omowale is with us on the Livewire expression. Yes, for those of you who know Livewire, you know Omowale, and we are excited to have her here. I would have loved to introduce her on her professional portfolio, but since we're not talking professional stuff today, right? We'll just keep that. But you will get to see and hear Omowale, and you will see why we invited her to the show. So let's enjoy the session together. Omowale, you are welcome. Thanks so happy you're with us on set. Okay, so good girls.
No, they pay.
Good girl, no they pay. All right, so guys, please, for those of you who are familiar with this on IG, and we are saying hello to all our friends. I see Anietie. I'm excited on IG.
Oh,
yes,
Peace says,
hi.
I am fully ready to talk today.
Yes.
Last week you didn't talk.
Please, okay, so let's get those links ready.
Yeah.
Who wants to
So
join
please,
us?
they'll send the links backstage. Yeah. Good girls know they pay.
Good girl, no they pay. Okay, all right. So guys on the call, please feel free to just right now type in or in the comment section what you understand by good girl when this statement is made. Good girl, no they pay. What do people really mean by good girl in this statement? Please type it in, and you can feel free to also tell us some of the things that that have brought about people saying that there's no pay for good girls. So let's know. Okay, hey, Grace, I see you, Grace. Good evening. I see Grace on the call.
Oh wow.
Grace, you're welcome. We're happy to have you here. Everybody, we're so excited. Grace says, and I'm going to read it even though you can't see it right now, but she says, good girl, no they pay in Bobrisky's voice. Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness. We're starting on a high. Grace, be coming down now. Be coming down. Grace, be coming down. It's okay. We'll get there. So, but
but why? What is it about good girls? And I think Omowale is a good time.
Are you a good girl?
No, not wait. No, you can't do that.
Okay, let me wait.
You want to win?
Have you heard this? I don't know what his plan is, but let's hope you are safe. So, have you heard this statement? This good girl no they pay thing. Is it something that you heard for? In what context did you hear it? If you have,
So, off the top of my head, actually, I cannot recall hearing it like that, or at least in recent times.
Mm-hmm.
In the last week, incidentally, I saw the flip side where somebody said, and they say something like, and they say bad girls don't win, something like that.
But we say a bad girl winning.
That's what. So exactly. So somebody was putting up on their status an example. So it was related to that.
I would like to hear the example.
Right now.
Well, we are here. What?
So somebody put up a picture of the Queen Consort, which was announced when King Charles, was announced as the next king of the United Kingdom on Thursday, I believe. And then his wife would not be queen because she's not a reigning monarch, but she'll be the Queen Consort. And so for anybody who has tracked the story, I personally heard a lot during documentaries for Diana's 20th 3-4 years ago. So for anybody who knows the story of how Camilla has been there throughout, somebody put up a picture and said, now she's technically queen, not quite, the queen consort. How can you say, essentially being, a bad girl, whatever context that is, doesn't pay because she seems to be at the very height right now. That was the context in which I saw it, which made me pause. Because obviously there was still a lot to think of that day, and I went, oh my gosh, that's so savage. Somebody got there already. This morning I'm crying a lot.
So that already sets the stage.
Well, on the subject of good girls.
It's the same. You can't talk good without. It's the same coin.
Exactly.
It's the same coin. You're just spending it at different supermarkets.
Different places. Interesting.
It's the same coin. It's the same coin. You just flip it. You see the other side.
Peace is asking for the link so she can talk.
Peace.
And she's asking Ellie. So please make this available.
We will make the link available. We'll make the link available. I'm sure the guys backstage will soon drop it, and so you can join in.
Yeah. So we're waiting for some comments, but while we're waiting for that, I'll just share some of the context that I've heard this used. So people say good girl no they pay, and they talk about the fact that some girls are so good that they don't make any attempt, they don't make any effort. They're just good and they just stand by, right, and miss out on good deals as far as relationships are concerned. In fact, sometimes people use it in the corporate setting where they tell you, oh, good girl, they say,
no
politics. Exactly, you're not doing politics, you're not putting yourself out there, you're not, grabbing opportunities when they show up, even if it means stepping on toes, and because of that, good girl, they pay in the office. But in relationships, they also talk about it. So this is part of it, and so people think, oh, and then another thing, some people say good girl no dey pay. This is another context, and I'm sharing this while we wait for some other comments to come in. Another example, right, is when people say good girl no dey pay because in being good, maybe you dress a certain way, you are not flaunting all your features and advertising your assets in quotes for people to see you and be drawn to you because of those features, which could be seen as a bait.
Yes.
And a bad girl will say, I'm using what I have to get what I want.
Yes.
In quotes, right? But a good girl will say, in quotes. So now this is that context.
Okay.
So they say, okay, good girls are the ones who are not leveraging all their assets to get what they want for different reasons, principles, values, moral codes, and stuff like that. What your belief system is, your religion, all the different factors that influence your upbringing and so on. So it's in fact, and another. I really don't want to be the one downloading all the stuff.
But that's why Omawale is here to tell us her perspective. Really.
Now there's another one. Let me ask you this one. Okay, sex. Okay, that's another thing. Yes. Some people say good girl no dey pay.
Yes.
So in being a good girl, you're not engaging in sex before marriage and so on. And some people see that as a loss to you because they think that
one guy is going to come.
Exactly. So what are your thoughts on that?
Okay, so like you said, there's context, or you can't hold on to the guy, or he will then go running after somebody else. So yes, and then you're heartbroken. There's a whole lot of mess. But then this is where it now goes to what are your principles, and are they yours, or are they like values and principles you grew up with? Because at some point, I believe a good girl in quotes would probably turn resentful if it's a matter of, oh, they said I should be this way, and I will end up with the right guy.
Mm-hmm.
And then, oh, I've walked that path so diligently all my life, and here I am at 35, and I have nothing to show for it. And all my friends in first 500 level, 200 level, who were doing this and that I was looking at, they're all settled.
This thing that you have just mentioned is a critical one. And why do I say it's critical? Because I have heard that a lot of times. I've heard people who complain, I was good, or I have been good, I've never done this, I've never done that, and see me here at this time, I am not
haven't got achieved
and so
that.
on. Do you
Yes.
understand? And it's almost as if, oh, maybe it is because you were good in quotes that you missed out, or that you were not able to engage. But the fact is that there are many in quotes, let's say, many rules of engagement and many gadgets, many tools to be used in engaging. So the fact that you say I'm good, I've not done all these things, that's not going to be the reason to draw someone into your life. That's not going to be all the justification. If I remember some time back, but I can't remember way back, where we were talking about virgins. You know, and some people were saying, is that what I'm going to eat? You know, so yes, so they someone saying, is it virgin I'm going to eat? Do you understand? And then the guys were saying stuff like, you say you're a virgin, but you can't cook, you can't clean.
Now virgin will go chop.
You're not bringing anything to the table except your virginity. Do you understand?
Waiting, we won't use the virgin do now.
Do you understand? So it's you know. So when you look at it in that context, you see that if you are that kind of good girl, where all that you have to show is your exactly, or your morality, and that's all that you're really bringing, then you're putting yourself at a disadvantage. Because really, people are always looking at the full package. So I guess that's something to say to good girls who feel like they have not yet been paid. People are looking for the full package, right?
It's not just about what you are not doing, what are you actually doing to become a well-rounded person. Exactly. To bring the best of yourself into any relationship.
So if I may ask my question now, after people have stuck your thought, Mwale, will you classify yourself as a good girl? And who is these good girls and who is the bad? Do you think you're a good girl? Yeah.
Would any person classify themselves as a bad human?
Well, on my side, I won't exactly introduce myself as a good girl or a good guy. A bad guy. No, I can call myself a bad guy. As like traditional bad guy, like occasional bad guy, like occasional bad guy, traditional bad guy, intentional bad guy. I can be any of these things. It depends on where you meet me. So, and do you understand? So that's why I'm saying, okay, so what do you think? Are you a good girl?
I cannot call myself bad.
Okay, so that means we need to now bring out, what's your definition of good girl? What's your definition of good girl, sir? You know, because we say, like the example you gave of the queen consort, the bad girl that is paying her, how did he pay? How did he pay now? But tell us now. Abi guys, you put on to hear this so that when she's telling her story, so when she's telling us the story, you can also be checking yourself to say, on the scale of badness, where am I? Am I average bad or occasional bad or consistently bad? And so I'll know where to arrange myself.
KJ has a comment. Yes, so I think it's a good time to take this comment. So KJ says, first of all, he asks the first one, can we say girls who are virgins are the good girls?
You are the one that knows.
And we have just talked about that, you know, where we talked about well-rounded, as one said.
Peace says, everybody, me, I'm a good girl, but Peace, they say it's not paying. So, okay.
So KJ says, truth is, I'm a guy and I like a girl who has a touch of good and bad in her.
A touch of Cardi B and Chioma Jesus. Yes. A touch of Cardi B and Chioma Jesus. So, but let's look at it. Let's look at it.
Let's talk about
what it tells me, right? Which is what I want you to bring out, Mwale. What it tells me is that the reason some guys are not paying good girls is that
they haven't seen the Cardi B in them.
The Cardi B in them is not coming out. That may also be the reason from our last week's listing why some guys are not getting married, because they are seeing Chioma Jesus. They can't see Cardi B, and it's not every day we'll be praying. There are some days that we want to worship.
So you know this thing that you're talking about, right? These two versions or this contrast, or just call it diversity, right? Call it variety, right? call it richness in content.
Yes, character.
Yes. So these are all the things that are still inside the embodiment of a person.
Yes.
So as good girl, right, you should have diversity and variety and richness in your content.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yes.
But that doesn't mean that you're going to show everything to everybody. Definitely not. Only are you going to be displaying the Cardi B in yourself?
Let Omali answer now. You can't answer for her.
I'm asking how you going to display the Cardi B in yourself to the world.
I mean, irrespective of what I think, because the wider context is how the other party, in terms of relationship, spouse, boyfriend, also receives it, right? So there's if we use even things like simple clothing, for instance, there are guys who, like the ladies to cover up, but obviously the, have a fantastic body, blah, 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 go on holiday, go in bikini, no problem. But then there are also guys who actually don't mind and actually want their ladies, I won't say to flaunt everything, but they feel a sense of pride that this fine, piece of feminine flesh is hanging on their arm and other guys cannot have her.
Fine piece of feminine flesh. I couldn't miss that. I couldn't miss that. Fine.
So in that instance, like, I don't know that, he or she would then classify her as bad just because she is not, covered up from her crown to the soles of her feet.
This
I think context still matters.
Yeah, thank you very much. I just want to bring something up. A recent, should I call it comment, advice, by Mama Oyedepo.
Okay.
Oh, wow. What she said?
Where she said that if you are young, you're single, young, and married, you want to get married, you shouldn't be dressing like a grandmother.
Ooh.
So that's the highlight. And of course, people just took that portion and started to share on social media. If you're young, you're single, you want to get married, you shouldn't be dressing like a grandmother.
Yes.
So speaking of some people have used clothing to completely hide, in fact, bury the, in quotes, Cardi B in them.
Yes.
So is it wrong to show the Cardi B in you before marriage?
Is it wrong? What is the context?
True, because the other side.
Because
See, let's not be diplomatic about this thing. Guys on the show, please let me hear your voice. When you look at a lady, is it only Choma Jesus you want to see? In fact, somebody even said something. Let me show a quote. They're showing a little skin. Doesn't really mean you are bad, nah.
And then,
can we agree that little is also subjective?
It's subjective.
That place you are going.
The question of how high should your seats go? You can't high.
How low should the neckline be? How tight should the dress?
Jay is asking, why is Cardi B the bad?
I know you are based off of a previous comment.
Yes. So it's really interesting because I'm seeing where this conversation is going, and I am marking time. There's one place I'm waiting for. I'm just marking time. Jimoski, welcome. Yes, you are late, small, but there's still some part of the table remaining for you. Yes, there's still some part of the table remaining for you to shake. Yeah.
You see, it all depends on the person.
On Instagram, Irene Lamy said you can still look great without skin. No.
Thank you so much.
You are saying that one because you like to cover up. We guys like some skin, please. And I'm speaking for men in general. I'm not looking at the women on set. As you guys can see, I'm looking up. As you guys can see, I'm looking up. So I'm not looking at the women in sets.
Okay, somebody else on IG.
Yes.
Imagine if I saw that well. Can you see the last comment there?
He said the neckline can be high, but Lord, look below the neck. There can be missing material.
Hey, yet another response. See?
So below the neck, there can be missing. So, but what I'm hearing is that guys want a touch of badness.
Did you see what Timora wrote?
Guys want a touch of badness. I mean, guys want a touch of badness.
Timora says, please show skin smaller.
Whoa.
There's always trailer before movie.
Oh wow! Oh wow! Oh wow! Okay, some tables are beginning to lose legs here. They say there's always trailer before the movie launch.
So you see, this whole thing depends on the person.
Agreed.
Depends on the person, the lady, right? And also depends on the person, the guy, whoever her prospect is,
True.
right? Or whoever the people in her circle is. What kind of person do you want to attract?
Yes.
It will determine. And what do you want them to be attracted to you for?
Yes.
Will be
That's
another thing.
sustainable.
Okay.
So for instance, let me use
Wait, Baby, wait first before you use yourself. I don't want to use
Well,
you
don't
here.
have to
Yeah,
piggyback.
yeah. No, I want to piggyback on something you said.
Okay.
I mean, can we have practical examples where this good girl has not paid?
Which of the good girls?
We say good girl, no, they pay.
No, we
So,
talked about people
so,
who have said
yeah,
they-
because we
they
have
say-
the, yes, it's a saying, yeah, we get it. We have the Camilla example where we can say, okay, being bad shall pay some dividends. Do we have cases where being good hasn't really paid?
Well, we talked about that just some minutes ago. Where
Practical example.
People have said
Practical,
stuff like
practical.
practical
Yes.
example.
Yes, like
People
example.
have said I have not.
Baby, don't talk.
She's
No,
repeating
no,
what we have
no, I
discussed.
don't want her to talk.
I don't have any notable examples.
Tell me one or two.
But the ones where a lot of the people are complaining, I have followed the mother and the grandmother's handbook for being a lady in decorum all my life.
And
I don't have to show for it. My kids are my friends are celebrating kids' 3rd and 5th year birthday
Birthdays,
parties.
and I still
So
have
yeah,
it.
my singleness.
Mm.
I was going to fellowship when we were in uni, blah blah blah. Those ones were in the club partying, and now
Yeah.
they're married and
Married and
life
not.
upset.
Wow, and you're done. That is
Yeah.
last woman
Yeah.
standing.
Yeah, and that's what we
A
talked
lot.
about. It's not
Yeah.
all about morality.
Just
It's
not what you do, yeah.
You have to. She talked about well-rounded.
That,
Full
that,
package.
that well-rounded is a something. That well-rounded is it's a package. But Peace said something. Peace said, I have experienced it. Peace, you want to call up on the show and give us your experience? I believe they have sent the link. They have sent the link for guys to call in and join us backstage. And Jimoski, we also want to hear your voice, and then let's hear from you. We'll hear from you after a few minutes of the commercial. We'll just take a few more calls. But yeah, drop your last point. The
Okay,
point
so
I stopped you from
the
dropping. Yeah.
last point you stopped me from dropping.
Yes.
Was if I want to use myself as an example, and KJ, I'm just responding to a comment by KJ
Mm.
where he says something about using dressing. It just sort of when he said something about using dressing, is that supposed to be
Oh, sorry. Can I find it?
yes?
Is that it?
Why should we subject badness to choice of dressing? People cover up, and when it comes to their character, they are something else. And KJ, this is really important.
Yes.
That's why we're talking about well-rounded. So if you know yourself as a guy and you're looking for a call it complete woman, right? In inverted commas,
Yes.
then you should know you're not just looking for skin. Skin cannot cook food. Skin cannot take care of children.
No.
You understand?
Yes.
Skin cannot nurse you when you are ill, and skin cannot stand by you when you have lost your job.
But skin can stand by you in public, and make you
Yes,
look
that's-
very.
Yes,
that's
just one.
As in, skin can package you in the public, man.
Yes,
like
that's
that.
just one thing. But if you're looking for so it depends. What are you looking for? Do you understand? So if you as a guy,
Yes.
the only thing you need a woman for is for her to be
I'm
trophy and just look trophy while just look beautiful beside you.
She said,
And she's
I'm
not-
Candy.
I'm Candy, and she's not going to speak because she can be trophy, and then you go to someone ask a question and she just opens her mouth and you're looking for a table to hide on. Then you might as well look for arm candy according to
Somebody to be beautiful beside you.
If that's all you need, then you can just go and be looking for skin and beauty and stop there. And be completely content with her being beautiful, even if she's useless in other aspects of
because that's what
your relationship, because that's what you wanted and that's what you went for. Okay, but we're talking about completeness here. So if you're looking for the complete package, then you have to look out for more than just skin, right?
Yes.
And you have to look beyond just one aspect. You have to look at all the aspects. So I was talking about myself, right? And this is interesting. When I was once upon a time, I was in I went out. I had this beautiful dress my sister gave me, and it was so cute. And it was like maybe now what you would call a bandage dress, even though back then it wasn't so tight. Material was soft and it was flowery and beautiful. And I wore it on my beautiful self way back before the children came and the statistics changed. And I was going to post office to post a letter. And I happened to pass one kiosk or something where guys were buying drinks. And they started whistling. So, I mean, for me, it was uncomfortable that I am walking.
Are you?
People are doing cat calls for me. It was like, really?
But you see, this is a problem. Wait, now this is a problem. No, so you now they are whistling. The thing is worrying you. Meanwhile, some other people, it's the whistle we're addressing for. We're addressing for the whistle. Yes.
You know, but I actually went home, changed, and then went back to the post office.
Wow. You didn't even reach the destination.
Went back to and then informed a number of things because I was like, I don't need distraction in my life, right?
Yes.
I don't need people to be coming to me just because they see statistics. Do you understand?
Yes.
So for that reason, when I was in university, this is just me, personal. I'm not saying this is how people should live, but this was me. I didn't want someone to be drawn to me because of my looks. Because I know that those things change.
Yes.
Over time, beauty will fade.
Yes.
Right?
Oh, wow.
I mean, you do all you can to sustain it. But you know.
Yes.
Do you understand? So for me, my priority was whoever is coming to my life should come for the deep last. Yes. So I wanted someone to be drawn to me for my intellect, someone to be drawn to me for my ability to, do a number of other things beyond appearance. So I was wearing one size bigger by default. Even though someone said the conditions at that time also enabled or encouraged it, because when you get money to them, be sewing clothes
up and down.
But so over time, and for that reason, the people I really drew into my life were those kind of people, not people that are looking for. Even though these other things, the sensual was cool and important and added to, at the right time, you will heal those things at the right time.
Okay.
So I will let you take your break now.
Okay.
But I hope everybody got what I was trying to say. It depends on the person.
It depends on the person. It's okay. Well, I won't comment anyway. By the way, Jimoski is backstage, and we are going to bring him on after this quick commercial.
If you know the jackpot, better get your PVC. Something hot is here. 50,000 naira. That's the cash prize for the person who wins the jackpot PVC dance challenge.
Unayera, yes, all you need to do is create a 30 seconds to 1 minute dance video and upload it using the hashtag JackpotPVC challenge, and you can stand a chance to go home with 50,000 naira.
Remember, my handle is at Anietie Bature. That's ANIETIE Bature BATURE.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Alright, so let the best dance wait. Yeah, your business.
If you know the jackpot, better.
Thank you. Yes, we're back. Thanks, IG family, for staying with us through that commercial.
Yes, someone on IG while we're on break said that needs are progressive and it evolves over time. It evolves over time. So that's good. So I see the part where they are saying the good girls know they pay, and so if we're talking about it in the sense of the fact that maybe guys have different needs. So are you saying that maybe in the certain seasons of guys' life they're not really looking for good? Let me stop there. Let me just Jimoski, you are live. Jimoski,
Good evening, guys. Good evening.
Jimoski, can you hear us?
I can hear you. Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can. We can hear you, Jimoski.
Okay. It's nice to be back. And I think last week's show was today's show is the answer to last week's show from what I'm seeing so far. Yeah. Because
Mm.
you people are asking why we guys are not getting married. And I think today's show have answered our question somehow. But if I may ask, do we have any good girls
Please tell us,
nowadays?
tell us how it answered the question for you, please. Sorry.
But
Don't miss
if I
that
may
because
ask,
ABAP is
if
important
I
to
may
me.
ask, do we have good girls nowadays? Let me ask, ladies.
Of course.
No, they didn't ask you. They didn't ask you. You are married.
Define
Let Omoale that is still single.
it.
Then.
To define it. His own definition of
Jimoski, did you hear?
Okay. What I would say is that the good girls know they are good, but we the guys, we can't know the good girls nowadays from the bad girls because you don't even know who are good girls. You don't know who is bad girl, but the good ones, I know they are good girls, and I know they know within themselves they are good. Now, the one you feel that they are good girl, the one that you feel they are decent, if you get close to them and if you see what they are doing or who they are, sometimes in fact you will be so disappointed in them in the situation of what they call it ladies. Now, for example, I'm managing a small short-time hotel somewhere on the mainland, for example, and if tell you what I see every day, if I tell you what goes on
Don't tell
every
me.
day,
Don't tell me.
in fact, even you yourself that is single, you will not know where to throw your net again because you will find out that is not your husband. Now, I've been looking for a position to hire somebody, and that position I'm looking to hire a guy. Do you know that I'm finding it difficult to get a guy because of what I'm about to offer? But if we're ladies, believe me, I would have gotten a lady. Now, what am I saying this? You will see ladies that are doing job of 30,000 naira, 25,000 naira. The handset they are using is even times four of what they are earning. And you want to tell me such girl is a good girl? No, I disagree with that. You find out that there are some lady who, in fact, even what they are putting on alone is even equal to your salary. And you want to tell me that such girls that are good girls? No, I wouldn't. So the reason why we guys are not really getting married is because we are afraid to enter the hand that look like a good girl. Then later on, when she put on the clothes, we now find out say, this one that mommy water. So we are not that we don't want to get married. As long the girls are ready to be good and the good sides are ready to show on the surface aspect of them, we are ready to get married. But if they are not ready to all the aspects, definitely we will still hold on with our boat and still look on the sea to see if we'll find a good girl. Thank you. I'm still online. I'm not going nowhere. We'll break this table today.
Yes. I was just going to tell you to stay, because just hanging there. Peace has something to say. So please, let's not forget the points that he made about good girls and guys' perspective. So peace, you're on.
Hi, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Sorry, I don't know if you can hear
Please,
me.
we can hear you. We can hear you. Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, I don't really have much to say, but okay. The thing is, growing up, you realize the home training you actually saw as nothing, and you took it for granted when you were little. Is actually very important. Like it's very, very important. Because when you decide to be totally bad, like okay, you want rebel, home training go just knock your head and you realize that God is sitting somewhere watching you, and it's like, okay, I dare you to do that here and see the punishment you face. And aside God being there watching you, home training and good gear actually pays. It pays. And with the help
Why
of
do you
home
say so,
training
peace?
and God being involved, that's the only way you can be a good girl. Because without that, I don't think we'll have any good girl out there. But we should be realistic. Let's be honest. To be a good girl is actually very hard, though.
And now you come now.
Like, it's very hard. It's very difficult. But what to do? We don't have any choice. You actually have a choice. If you want to become a bad girl, you can. But good girl actually pays. It pays a lot, and it saves you from unnecessary situations in the future. That's all I have to say.
Okay. Okay. Omwale, do you have any response to them? Do you have any do you have any response to the perspectives you've had from both Peace and Jimoski?
I feel like Timothy's one was more of an observation,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the experience that he's seen in real time. So that was an interesting
Shut up. I
perspective.
don't know what's
It,
Mike.
it isn't something new necessarily, but it's interesting that to know that that all of that is still happening. The perspectives about um, somebody using or wearing items that are worth more than their known income is it's presumptuous. So even if 80% of the time you're right, the fact is that you are assuming 100% of the people that you see in those situations, you're thinking they're doing something wrong and you're unlikely to be correct 100% of the time. So stereotyping is, I mean, you don't know for sure. So you're simply inferring when you say, you can't tell me that, they are being a good girl. I don't think that's appropriate. Like, no matter how seemingly obvious it is, if you haven't caught somebody doing something, I mean, your opinion is your opinion, but I'm not saying he's spreading anything, but I don't think you should then go and carry, their story or purported stories around. That's one. And that's to say, and I'm sure some might disagree with this, but do you know who gifted them something?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know which parent, family member, godmother, whatsoever did anything? Do you know what God sends to their lives? Because, hey, if God is provider, he doesn't have to provide in cash. He provides in kind and sends plenty benefactors your way.
Wow.
How would you live above your purported means? So, hey, that's that.
The
And
God
then-
kindness.
A typical example is you just happen to have a friend, a senior friend, right, who maybe the same size with you, and by default, after she wears her clothes for a while, she just ships it to you. And you definitely cannot afford.
No,
those
thank
clothes,
you. You're not no.
But you're getting
Even as being
them.
you can't afford
Yes.
it.
You're getting them
So-
for nothing.
So Jimoski, you're still online, right?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, Jimoski, do you have a question for Omwale?
Yes, I have a question for her. Okay. My question is that how do you know a good girl physically, or maybe getting close to her? Hello?
How do you know?
Okay, so
Yeah,
I'm sure that question is coming from the context that most guys are seeing the things that most guys are seeing. They are saying these things. Everything there are no good girls remaining. Do you understand? So he's saying, if you are saying, okay, we shouldn't judge by what we see, based on what people are putting in and the things that are threatening guys, based on what they are seeing. How can we now tell the good girls? Jumoski, did I hit that question correctly?
Exactly. Yes, that's it.
It goes back to what we said about package. You can't determine if you can't understand the entire package of a person's persona or character without spending time, without actually getting to know them. And there's some things about some people or some quiet aspects of their life that might surprise you when you find out how different their, let's say, non-public life is from their public life, whether it's that they're introverted or they're shy or they're quite philanthropical or, quite giving or charitable. I'm just saying you never know these things until you actually spend time with people. So that's what I was saying.
And you won't get to know their vices.
Exactly, if you also don't spend time.
If they have or they don't have, and if they have, what they are.
I think nothing about relationships, platonic or romantic, should be rushed.
Yes.
Hashtag don't rush me.
Really
that like that your common sense. Fools is only fools that rush in, right?
Yes.
Yeah, there are quite a lot of interesting comments coming up, and I just thought we could take some of them. Okay, this is talking about say guys be like, Nami they date that girl, Nami get them, now my investment, showing off a little skill doesn't really mean you're bad now. Yeah, we touched on that. Jimoski says small touch of badness is necessary for bedtime. My brother.
At the right time.
No, he was very specific. The bedtime. That's yes. Yeah. Why should we subject badness to a choice of dressing? People go, okay, yeah. I think we're taking that one. No guy wants a boring girl.
So speaking of boring, yeah.
Speaking of boring, you want to say something about one? Okay, but we'll come there. Let's get through the comments. Let's get through the comments. Peace says, okay, talking about good girls. Peace said, married men chasing single young girls, but because of home training and the fear of God in you, you just can't. So that's another place where they are losing, because married men can be very generous. Yes, can be very generous. They know how to take care of,
their experience in
taking care of women, and then when you are single, they take special care of young girls. Anyway, please, married women also chase young men. No, why are you not talking about that? No, God, be calming down. Now it's good girls we're talking about. We talked about guys last week. People should be calming down. Why are you people like this? Some skins can change things. Some skin can do good taking care of, but make her listen first. Guys, you people. Peace says, I'm talking about my experience, and besides, we are talking about good girls, no they pay, not really about guys now. Last week, guys don't shine. Now it's our turn. So let them have the floor. Let them have the floor. Yakubu Ibrahim Oscar said, ex-Cal lady. I don't understand that. Yakubu, welcome to the show.
Chemical lady.
Oh, okay. Your colleague from school. Oh, yeah. He said, being in a relationship with a guy that is not ready to get married. In this situation, being a good girl will be a good memory for the man. He will always use your goodness as inspirational stories. So that will not help you win. Thank you. But
already not ready.
Not ready. So in that case, you're not winning. But my point again is, maybe a lot of times, good girls are under pressure. They're under pressure to do some certain badness in the hope that they will win.
Yeah.
You understand? Yeah. Because like what you say now, in this situation, it was a guy that was not ready to be married. But if it was a guy that was ready to be married, right, and you are being good girl, and the guy says, I need to, yes, I need more. I need more. I mean, yes, I need more. I mean, do you understand?
Just tells you the kind of guy he is.
Exactly. So it also depends. Is she willing to permit that compromise? Because once you begin, that's how it's going to carry on likely throughout your relationship.
She says very big pressure, sir. She's just
okay. She's acknowledging the fact that
there are a number of people are put under pressure. Saying if you want me to take you seriously, then do this. And ladies, this is something that a number of you are facing. Some guy tells you how you say we're in a serious relationship, but you can't even do this, or you can't even, and you know those things go against your values. Those things go against your beliefs. Why do you want to throw it? It's anybody that makes you throw away what is core for you, like your values and your beliefs, in order to please them. And they're not the right person for you.
Please write that down.
Yes.
Values and beliefs. Values and beliefs.
It means that they are beneath you. It means that they are beneath you as far as values and beliefs are concerned, because you are in a higher place. And this guy who is low down there comes to you and tells you compromise.
So Babi, you are saying that it's possible for the guy to have more money than you and still be below you.
Yes, as far as values and beliefs are concerned. And the thing is, what is important to you? So if all you're looking for as a lady is money, and then the guy comes, for instance, and he has more money than you, then you may say, oh yeah, I'm doing it because he has money, and that's what. But if for you, your beliefs, your principles, your values are core, they're important. Whether he has money to the moon and back, if he's asking you to compromise on core issues, and that by the time you finish, you won't even recognize yourself again. Where do you stand? What's the ground on which you stand?
So that's what Jimoski is saying there.
Long throat is turning most girls to bad.
Yes, long throat is turning most good girls to bad.
I think, as I mentioned before, it's a matter of where do you then draw the line? Because if you start compromising before and you satisfy that one thing, then you've already proven that essentially his needs are better. Exactly, his needs take priority. This is how the lady then starts to diminish. You start giving up more and more of yourself, and then at a point you wake up and you say, "Hang on, I was a whole person before I got married or before I entered this relationship. Where am I today now?"
Oh wow!
Because really,
why does it end?
The thing about values, right, and beliefs, they are like anchors.
Yes.
They give you grounding.
Bobby, there's a question here. It says, which badness, I beg, is it the is sweet me or is sweet you kind? There are different. There's the is sweet me badness, and there's like is sweet you. So it's. Peace Admiral says, but to be honest, sometimes I want to just change. Like, is it not to just do it and after that it's over? But one thing for sure is that once you start, it will be difficult to stop. Omawale, that was just the point you were making. And Peace, I hope you heard that and that comment from Omawale. It was very critical. The fact that where do you draw the line?
Yeah, Peace, and you know another thing, the follow up to that is that you also have the case where you did it just once, but you, because you're not an experienced bad girl, when the thing wants to catch you well, you the complications, the wahala that you will face as a result of that one wrong move.
Yes.
I mean, you see a lady that she was doing it right, she was pursuing her life, she was in quote well-rounded. And then at a point, some guy shows up and she's just trying to show, okay, I'm really into this relationship.
And then she gives
like it was going to happen. And she says, okay, I'll sleep with you. Then she gets pregnant. Then overnight, the guy just decides, I'm not interested in you anymore. Now she's a single mother, and it's even finding it difficult, in spite of her being in quotes a complete package, to attract another guy into her life because they're saying, hey, I'm not ready to take care of somebody else's child.
Abasiano says, good girl pays though. I'm actually one though. Abasiano, we would like to hear your story. Maybe give you like 2 minutes to just give us gist. You know me, I like gist. It's not my fault. Yeah, I like gist. So Abasiano, the link is you can scroll up, you see the link there, and then you can chat, you can just dial in. Oh no, we had Ugochukwu backstage. We had Ugochukwu backstage. Ugochukwu, please, can you come back in? We noticed you, Ugochukwu. Please dial back in. The link is there. Peace says, but then it's very difficult. It's very difficult.
She said 2. I feel like that sentence is incomplete.
No, I'm thinking it's very because she was responding to something you said about the good girl stance, right?
I understand. So for me as well is which I also personally understanding your wife. So you're not just absorbing cultural values. You're not just absorbing grandma's values. You're not just absorbing your mother's values. Like, yes, you've taken that on, but if you now try to understand what it means to you and why it matters so much, so if they essentially become, they might be values you grew up with, but if they become your personal core values, understandably, it won't always be easy, but that anchor would be firmer. Exactly, that anchor would be stronger.
Yeah.
So
but defining your wife, in holding
personally.
on to those values, don't put yourself in a disadvantaged position by not developing the other aspect.
Amanda said, "Good girl is supposed to be paying, but at the moment it's not. It's not. At the moment it's not." Amanda. Yes. Ugochukwu is backstage, and we'd like to bring him on now. Ugochukwu, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. Good evening.
Good evening. Welcome.
Yeah, nice to be here. I've been following the topic of discussion judiciously, and I would like to make 1 or 2 contributions in the in the first place when we talk about bad girl and good girl. You know, these things, they are relational. Sometimes what people consider as bad in a gear is what others consider as good in a gear. It depends on who you are dealing with. It depends on the person's perspective, the background of the person, where the person is coming from. If you are the type of good gear, which I think we are talking about, when you want to relate, you should try to relate with boys that are within that very category, that are within that very plan. Because if you go out, for instance, if you are a girl and you are relating with some of these very boys who are in the other part, you know, there are 2 parts. There are people at the left wing, there are people at the right wing. So, yeah.
Left wing bad boys and right wing bad boys.
Yes, there are people at the left wing and people at the right wing. So if you are relating with the people at the left wing and you are a girl, you cannot play the ball. They see you as a bad girl or somebody who doesn't know her left from her right. Yes, but if you are relating with the other people at the other corner, at the right wing, they can really understand. So this whole thing is like relational. I have had a reverend father once preach in the church that before you get married to any lady, first of all, make sure that she is pregnant. So if
So
you're
sorry,
coming
we
from
didn't hear that.
Before you get married
yes,
to any lady,
yes,
Oh
then you
wow.
should make sure that the person gets pregnant first. Because these days that a whole lot of things are happening. They are not tired of settling cases of somebody have gotten married, there is no child, and when you go and check, there is something that have gone wrong beyond repair, ab initio. So based on that, that is what is informing that very decision. That before you say I do, you come to this very church and wed you. I must see pregnancy or pregnancy test positive before I will wed. So all these things
Wow.
are relational. It depends on where you are coming from and your background and what the belief system is. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ugo. Wow. Omawale, you are still looking very shocked. It shocked you, Abi. It shocked you. But these are present realities,
Yes.
right? These are present realities. But you want to
Yeah.
speak to that because we have some interesting comments that
yes,
I'd like to take, but just
present
speak to.
realities. Thank you so much, Ugo, for sharing. And you know what Ugo said is really important. If you are a right wing person, don't be going to left wing to go and make that because you will not measure up. And left wing people will tell you to lower your right wing standards to match them. Do you understand?
Yes.
But if you're left wing and you're playing in left wing, bring it on because I mean that's your territory, isn't it? So it's not a problem.
Yes.
All of you are down there together. All of you are at the same level, so nobody's going to. It's not going to be a problem.
Yes.
So really, who are you? And this is where we come to. Who are you? Do you know who you are? Do you understand yourself?
The questions of identity.
Yes. Do you know yourself? Because that will inform where you go. And that will inform the kind of people you even entertain as prospects in your life.
Wow.
You don't know if anybody will come and you waste your time. You're a right wing person, you're wasting time with left wing, or you're a left wing person, you're wasting time with right wing. Do you understand? Because you guys are not on the same level, you're different. And so just by default introduce disappointments and stuff because people are not getting what they expect.
Interesting.
Right? So and you know, like Jumoski was saying, you're in the hotel industry, and I mean that's like where it goes down a lot of times. So what you're saying is a number of people who are in a certain belief system or craft, and that's a proportion of the population. It doesn't speak to all, but really that also says, because you have to look on the opposite side. If you can easily find in quotes bad girls in the hotel surroundings and so on, then that means there are places that you can easily find good girls.
My sister, before you go there, don't let me tell you what somebody said in the chat above. He's saying that even church is not even church is not absorbed from some left wingers. In other words, there are some left wingers in church. Very much.
Why Omale said, take time to know.
Yeah, I had some interesting conversations I wanted us to get to.
Yes.
And please, if you also have questions, please you can post them. Even though we've been taking some of the questions, our conversation has been answering some of the questions I see in the chat. But Grace says, I remember having a conversation with a girl one time. She said, so far her badness is not her compromising for a man who claims to love her. She's open to badness because they pay. Wow.
Interesting.
Wow. Peace says, one of the reasons why good girls pay, for example, an ex-prostitute that decides to become a good girl, no matter what her past will come hunting, especially if you want to get married, people will dig deep. Okay, so she's saying
Yes,
that if you start out, yeah, the seeds you have sown in the past will come to haunt you. Will come to haunt you in the present. Grace also said, when girls get heartbroken, we'll think being good is not pain. I hope we understand that compromising is responsible for the hurt that we feel. So the moment you drop your standards and your happy ending ended unhappily, yes, the hurt you feel is a product of what did you give up? What did you give up? So no room for compromising, right? Please says, so, yeah, I'm getting to it. Please says, so what about a case where your church don't approve you getting married? Yeah, okay, he's responding to that particular. Yes, if your church doesn't approve, sorry, you want to say something?
My question is, what does the lady approve? Because if the consideration is she wants to do it, but it's the church that is holding her back. I'm just curious as to. So she thinks it's okay.
If you think I mean, some people should check the church.
Yeah, that's you see.
That's supposed to be that. There's a code. If you say you're a church, then the Bible is
it's your standard.
Yeah.
It's your standard.
Your pastor now starts telling you he must see pregnancy before he weds you. That means you need to.
I thought she said the opposite. She said one of when your church doesn't approve. But she said doesn't.
Yeah, no, she said doesn't. She said this.
Yes,
the context. That was shared was of the church that.
I think I agree with you. I thought it was an elder.
No, it's church. It says Adewumi says Adam has the right word. Immediately he saw Eve, he started yamming. See percentage of girls who want gentlemen. Okay, see. Percentage of girls who want gentlemen are not much. See, girls want humor. They want fun man. And someone who could swing their models from I am not in the mood to joyous mood. Oh my brother. Adewumi, bring it on. We said from the way we view Christianity, we think you have to be gentle, passive, and quiet. Yes. So it is only those bad boys that has the good lyrics, that good girls want to hear. So, but this is also, thank you very much for this, please, because this is bringing an indictment on the so-called good boys version of the bad girl scenario, right? Do you understand? Because if you don't have a touch of which guy will I use now that has lyrics? Does Wizkid have lyrics? Davido has lyrics. If you're not able to if you don't have a touch of, we say the touch of Cardi B for the girls. If you don't have a touch of Davido, or Fela. Well, I didn't say that.
Create a vision that somebody can come and say, I would like to be part of this. What is she following for?
No, but what you're saying is critical to what that guy's what the point is saying. We need guys also need to guys need to step up. Coming from last week where we say why are guys not getting married, good guys that are here in the auditorium. I'm glad you're hearing what they are saying about the good girls. You also know that as a right winger, you still need some touch of skill, and you still need some touch of left-footed skills in order to score the right kind of goals. I don't know if you're understanding what I'm saying. So I'm trying to tell you, as a good guy, as a good girl, there are some skills you need. You need as a good girl, you need to have some social skills to package properly, emotional intelligence. For guys, you need to have the vocalization skills. The ability to express the content of the heart in the language that the lady can appreciate. I know that sounded good. Oh my goodness. If they want me to say it again, they should go and watch the replay. Grounds, very true. My sister, my sister got a proposal from her boyfriend's family that if she gets pregnant, their son will marry her. So how long do they have to try before she gets pregnant?
Yeah, and then some will just wait, get pregnant, and they'll collect the child, and then they'll still not marry you. Yeah, I mean,
there are all sorts of variables.
What are the odds? What's the what they call it, guarantee? And even if there are guarantees, what do you stand for? Start with you.
She pointed out that somebody actually did
it. The girl are original wife material, no doubt. Some bad girls are original wife material, but like somebody said, what is the history that you're living with? Because everybody, every human lives with a sense of history. You can't run away from that. So what's the history that you are living with? And what's the history that you are living, the generation that you are bringing up? What's the history you're living them with? Your children. What's the history you're living them with? You know, because there's certain things.
You're bringing into the relationship as married, and how that affects.
It's a left winger, be like Martinelli, but that guy's got some left wing skills. The bad girls are everywhere. I even know some in church. My brother, you're right. Their territory is not defined, and their operation is universal. I hear you. Their places of engagement is viral, and church is inclusive. My brother, you're speaking.
The happens
in the hotel. The hotel outing is representing about 20% of them, and represent those that don't tire. Don't tear eye finish. Okay, I get it. Some guys like bad girls though. There are many things society may see as bad, but some people love it, and we have already provided the context. We provide the context for that.
As we wrap this up, because our time is actually up.
Oh my goodness! I'm just trying to rush through the comments so that you can give we can just give some closing. I'm like drinking, smoking, clubbing, etc. Being bad isn't about sex, Sha. Isn't about sex, Sha, or isn't about sex alone. It depends on who defines the morals, right? But how can you get those skills without doing stuff before marriage? My sister, let me tell you very, very simply. You know when they ask me this question, it comes back to the classic experience I had. And my answer is usually the same. You say, how can you do that? How can you learn these skills without doing this stuff? I say, do you need to sink before you learn how to swim? You don't need to sink before you learn how to swim. You want to learn how to swim? Get a teacher, get a video, get books, get materials, go to conferences, listen to things that you need to do, and begin to do them. You don't need to sink before you learn how to swim.
And in the process of saying you want to learn stuff before, you end up giving yourself what they call data points to use for comparison when you finally get into your marriage. And then next thing you now go on social media like that lady and tell us I want to jump out because what I have found in this house is smaller than what I am accustomed to outside.
Yeah, and we spoke critically about that in one of your videos. It's still on this channel. This is still on this channel. What I can't remember which of the series it's on one of the playlists. Guys, can you remember which of the series that we spoke about? Yes, it was about sex and sexual preferences. So look for the video on the channel, sex and sexual preferences.
So let me wrap this up. Any
closing comments?
Good girl no dey pay is subjective. Identity matters because even one of our last comments said it depends on who defines the standards, who defines the morals. So irrespective of what you grew up with or what culture everyone says, you need to understand for yourself, you know, what your values are, how they are defined, and what you are holding on to and why. So that then becomes your anchor that helps you get through any perceived tough times. And yes, in terms of what pay is, I mean, if somebody ends up getting into a relationship after getting pregnant, as somebody else said, you know, that's still no guarantee that the relationship will work out. So from the onset, it will now look like you got paid. But in reality, you know, a few years down the line,
you got pegged.
It's still scattering. So I said even paid now appears to be subjective. And if you're now thinking long term and you know over a period of life, you're the one in control. You know, you can't control what other people do. You control what you do. So I think everybody should sit down, know themselves, understand themselves, define themselves, and see who they're attracting, who they want to attract, and essentially be the best version of themselves.
Thank you so much, Moani. You have touched on two of the critical points I wanted to leave as my closing comments. So I'll just touch on the others. The first is good girls, people generally. You should know your God, right? And stay connected to Him and commit your ways to Him. I mean, know the ground that you're standing on. Have an anchor, okay? And she has touched on knowing yourself, being purpose-driven, knowing what is your own vision for your life.
What is your why?
My husband talked about developing social skills and emotional skills so that you're not just coming with I am good or I am a virgin. What else are you bringing to the table? develop your whole package, be complete, be well-rounded, so that you have value to offer. It's a value proposition. This whole marriage thing, you can't just show up and you don't have anything
taken care of.
Yes, and then yes, and you talked about knowing. Yes, you talked about knowing yourself and what you stand for. Now the other thing is develop self-worth.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about identity.
Yes. Self-worth, because if you don't have self-worth, right, anybody is just going to treat you anyhow and you accept it. You need to develop self-worth. Step back and look within and see the value that is in you, and go forth with that confidence, knowing that above all, God in heaven loves you. Right? Yes. And then
preach.
Know your principles. The principles you live by, those things are the core. So you don't shift them just to please somebody who is here today and gone tomorrow. Yes. And yes, when the time comes, deploy all your arsenal with wisdom. Deploy all your arsenal. Don't cast your pearl before swine. Don't take what is value and throw it to somebody who just showed up. You know, there's certain things people should only be able to unlock after they have paid the price.
That just like Kingsley said, he said, "Me, I don't want my wife to taste me before marriage. I am waiting till marriage." So there's some tasting that she waits till after the fact. And some people on this set are even responding that for Kingsley to want somebody to wait, he must be nice. It means that he must be tasting nice. Maybe it's husband material kind of guy, you know. Yes. Husband material can pick this. Oh my goodness. Okay, so my own closing remarks. I will close in the words of there's a comment that I saw that I liked. He said, Ugochukwu says, when you finish being good or bad, you need to pick the boat to run things when you get to your destination. Variety is the spice of life, they say. You know, so it's the context. When you get your definition, you need certain things, you know, to get it there. So I need everyone to place like,
and that's what Toby King
Toby King says last. Good girls, it pays. It depends on the price that you are collecting. And you know, so I'm going to say, please, as we are shutting down now, share, like, subscribe. You can still leave your comments, and we still have a number of these things are spoken about in her book, Husband Material. The link is in the description of the video below. So please grab a copy, study, learn. You don't have to swim. You don't have to sink before you learn how to swim. Good girls, they say.
Yes, and thank you so much, Amani, for being our guest today.
Our guest
so
today.
Happy you came. And thanks for sharing, thanks for contributing.
Yes, thank you for having me.
And like we always say, guys, have a wonderful week, and remember,
common sense is not so common. Bye.
This one, na clarion call to all the brothers and sisters within this country. Naija. Now our land. Now we go save her. You know the dapper, better get your PVC. You know the dapper, better get your PVC. You know the dapper, better get your PVC. You know the dapper, better get your PVC.
Make it no be like I no tell you. Make it no be like saying Bature they wear you. Everybody, mama and papa, maybe we can clear you. So you know go be like saying we no help you. Get your PP, get your PVC, get your PP, get your PVC.
You know the dapper, better get your PVC. You know the dapper, better get your PVC. You know the dapper, better get your PVC. You know the dapper, get your PVC.
Outside Igbo and Yoruba.
Naija country, Naija country, Naija country.